Hello there, and welcome to this review of the new Korg Volca Bass. I picked this unit up the other day. You have to excuse my voice. Got a bit of a cold at the moment. I just thought I'd take you through my initial impressions of it. It's quite small, as you can see, although I do have massive hands. Light. It's kind of finished in this quite groovy sort of see-through plastic, which I hope the camera's following that though. You can actually see the LEDs lighting up inside. It sort of reminds you of, this is going to age me, of Aurak from Blake 7, if anybody remembers that. Yeah, it's pretty groovy looking box. It feels nice. The knobs, yeah, there's a fair old bit of wobble there. You know, it does feel pretty cheap, and it is pretty cheap. Basically, in terms of controls, from left to right, you have the octave control here, which controls the octave for your currently selected VCO. Then you have your filter controls, your cutoff and peak, your LFO controls, LFO rate and depth. The 3 pitch controls for the VCO, and then your overall volume. Then up here you have the tempo and the envelope generator, attack, decay and release. Well, they're on the same control. That depends whether or not you've got the sustain switched on. And then this controls the depth of the envelope on the filter. The envelope can also affect the amplitude, and you can turn that on and off here. Then over here you have your memory select. There are 8 patches. Now, as far as I can tell, they only store things like note data, active step data and slide data. In fact, they might not even store active step data. I'm not sure about that. They don't store any of these parameters because, as far as I can tell, all of these parameters directly control the sound engine. There's no computer brain in between the controls here and the actual filter, for example, on the board. So there's no automation possible as well. Then you can switch yourself into step mode. So if you want to step record, you can here with the record control, but you can go into step mode and switch steps on and off. Okay, then you have play, record, then you have your VCO selects, and then you have the function button. Function button will allow you to mute these VCOs, will allow you to write your current pattern into the memory, edit the slides, edit the active steps, and go into step record mode. Okay, now there's a whole other bunch of functions which are accessible from the keyboard by holding down function. First of all, we have the Vco Group, so you can have, this one plays all three VCOs have completely separate triggers. This one groups these two together, and then this one is separate, and then this one is a full unison mode where all 3 are grouped together. Then you have your LFO target, so you can turn them on and off. You can turn the LFO off together. You can have it targeting the amp or the pitch. Oh, sorry, and the pitch and the cutoff. So those are independently selectable, which is quite nice. You can choose between 2 LFO waves, a triangle and a square wave. Now, the square wave restarts every time it's triggered, which is quite handy. The triangle wave does not. Then we have our 3 VCO waves. We have each is independently selectable between sawtooth and square, which is quite nice. You can get some pretty full sounds. We can turn sustain on and off, and then we can turn the envelope generator. We can have that affecting the amplifier as well. Then we can go and clear our slide trigs, our active step trigs, our part trigs, which will just clear one of the individual parts, which is currently selected, whether it's VCO 1, 2 or 3. And then we can clear all of the trigs, so the whole lot. We can clear the entire pattern. And if you do it again, you can undo that, which I will come to in a second. It's quite good fun. Okay, so Let me just turn the envelope down for a second. Let's just listen to one of these VCOs. Now this one is currently set up for sawtooth, I think. No, sorry, pulse. Let me switch that over. So if we have a listen to it, just open the filter. That's just a single oscillator. They do sound pretty fat. They don't quite have, say, the amount of full low end that you would expect from something like a Moog, for example, but they do sound really nice. I really like them. Quite buzzy. Now if we go on to the the pulse wave. Sorry, I just realised I've been doing this with the peak up on the filter. That's not clever. Give you another run through with the sawtooth. Okay, let's have a quick listen to it in unison. Now, what we have here are the pitch controls. Now, these have been really well implemented, I think. Basically, if we just look at Vco 1, for example, you can see on the display here, hopefully, what we have is, when you start turning, it's got a fairly large zone in the center where the pitch is off, presumably means it's locked. And then as you start to turn it, you can see it's turning. Okay, you get to about, I suppose, about just before 1 o'clock on the knob. Then it starts to shift the pitch in cents, and then as it gets up to about, okay, where are we now? About 2 o'clock, I suppose. Okay, 100. Now we're up to, okay, 3, just after 3 o'clock. Then it starts to shift in notes. And then finally it goes 12. So you've got 12 and then minus 12 in the other direction. And it's fairly easy to zero. I suppose it takes a bit of getting used to it. I mean, it is one of those tiny monotron style, monotribe style knobs. So it's going to take a bit of getting used to, but if we let me just zero all of these. Okay, and okay, these are all sawtooths. That's quite a full, rich sound, and you can hear with the detuning it sounds quite nice. What it also means is if I whack this back to 0 and take the whole thing up an octave, let's say octave 2, I can now turn this down to minus 12. We have kind of a nice, basically a sub-oscillator there when the whole thing's running together, which sounds really good. Okay, now,